Speaking once more on the drug war, or the failure that it tends to be, um, I actually had two things that majorly came to mind. One is a study in Arizona that when at least medical marijuana was made legal, the increase in teens smoking pot didn't happen. You've got these people like, well, if they legalize it, then the kids will be doing it. Yes, because making this rather innocuous and at times more health beneficial plant, as it's been shown time and time again by constant new studies that have demonstrated without bias that there is actual properties to pot that doesn't make it all the evils that we make it out to be. Can people become addicted? Yes. But they can become addicted to gambling. They can become addicted to Coca-Cola. They can become addicted to huffing glue. Some of these things we've made illegal, but a lot of these things we keep legal. People can become addicted to alcohol. We don't make that illegal, do we? And don't even get me started on the adverse effects of pot versus the adverse effects of things like cigarettes and fucking booze, and how we'll defend to a hilt that those should remain legal. Not that at this point I care whether they ever become illegal or not. Though I do stand by my point of contention that prohibition only failed because we failed to capture the hearts of the people. We tried to reason with them by wrapping this topic in a morality terms, which was probably the worst possible thing that you could do in terms of this, because let's face it, we've demonized sex. People still do it. We've demonized we've demonized polyamory. People still do it. We've demonized drugs. People still do it. We try to make it, when we wrap it in something that's so insubstantial, where almost nobody, especially looking at laws state to state, whether we're talking sex laws, drug laws, what have you, and you will get, between the 50 states, you will almost get 50 different kinds of morality, which is why mob morality is absolute junk and bullshit. But okay, so some of you may have heard that in some of our state parks and sometimes out in the open, people have pot farms. What you don't hear much of, and something that I recently came to know about, although I'm going to try to find some more links to substantiate this even further, is the fact that this presents itself as a public risk. Not a public risk of, oh, people might smoke it if it's out in the open. No, I'm talking about people who put their fields in places where people can just wander into it. The problem with this being that pot farmers generally tend to booby trap their crops, tend to booby trap the area around their crops. And people are getting hurt. In some cases, people are dying. I think there was a statistic of people die every 22 minutes of a booby trap or improvised explosive. I think worldwide, obviously not in this country, but that's not good. We're all focused on guns, which we should be. Um, and yet this shit is happening. This shit is happening, and this is what our drug war has kind of wrought upon us. It's wrought no ill effects in terms of the times when it is mostly legalized in terms of the kids. The thing that we keep saying is so important, and then we make laws that actually penalize them for things that they shouldn't be penalized for, like two teenagers engaging in healthy, safe sexual activity. Yeah. But we also have it to where it then forces these people to try to find newer places, sometimes employing the hidden in plain sight kind of mentality. And with that goes the, well, I got to safeguard this from either the feds or from people, freeloaders who want a little bit of, a little free toke there. and booby trap this stuff, and people are getting hurt. How is this progressive? How is this helping us in the long run? We talk about how people are getting hurt by guns, but we're barely talking about how people are being hurt by improvised booby traps due to pot farms having to be placed where they have to be placed because, oh no, this plant is illegal federally, even though in many states it's now becoming legal because people are realizing this is a losing battle. It's hurting all of us. It's not actually doing anything to truly address what drug problem we do have in this country, and is instead making it to where, oh, you want treatment? That's fine, but you have to admit to criminal activity or we're not going to treat you. And therefore, not only are you going to get maybe treated, but we're also going to throw you in jail, which then makes you into a criminal, which I've already been talking about how screwed up and backwards we are in terms of how not serious we are about reduction of recidivism, because we got this mentality, once a criminal, always a criminal. Never mind whether it's, oh, that they might have smoked a little Mary Jane and got caught in it. Not that they hurt anybody, not that they killed anybody, not that they robbed anybody, not that they committed anything other than smoking a plant. Smoking a plant that we have decided is illegal for reasons that baffle me, because when you look at the side effects versus the benefits, this is backwards. This is backwards. I mean, this would be like if we decided, oh, the polio vaccine is effective, but because it's got a dead strain of the virus inside of it, that's still the virus. Therefore, we're going to ban the polio vaccine. We're just going to let people go back to dying or being deformed, including children by the thousands dying or having a permanent disability because of the risk that this dead virus poses to our children and all this stuff. I just don't. This isn't working. This is creating more people who they get out of prison, they want to repurpose their life. Maybe they want to get away from those drugs. And yet, because they have a mark on their record, they're now got this little scarlet letter on them. One of many scarlet letters we place on people who we feel might be future criminals. And we treat them as that. And then we act surprised when they go back to a life of crime because we've made this self-fulfilling prophecy. Oh, you were an ex-criminal? Well, look at what you're doing now. You're being a criminal. Never, ever asking, well, what could I have done to help this person get on their feet? Could I have maybe stacked the deck against their criminal nature, creating a network of friends, relationships, and a good job with a decent home to give them everything that a person needs to be a successful human being in this day and age, as well as to give them something to lose. You might think, well, but losing your freedom's gotta suck. Yeah, that's pretty bad. But when you have more than just your freedom on the line, that kind of makes you a little bit more cautious, maybe makes you listen to the angel on the shoulder rather than the devil, to put it in cartoonish type of terms in terms of the dual nature of man. We spend more time, and our jails are filled more with people who are caught smoking pot. Some of it is harder drugs, and yeah, okay, but a lot of it is just mostly just pot. And it's gotten to the point where we have less violent offenders and people who probably need to be in jail, and more people who pose no actual harm to the populace. How is this progress? How is this making us safer? How is this fixing the drug problem? Am I the only one who sees a Band-Aid on a head wound here? One of many. And that if we keep going the way that we are going, which we seem set and poised to do on many social topics, America is going to bleed to death. And a lot of you out there seem to be perfectly okay with us bleeding.